What's going on, my beautiful peoples? It's your host, Ron Kane of Just Words Nobody Cares. On this episode, I have special co-hosts Ramz McFly, Dre Drizzo, and a special guest that is a phenomenal bachatero, producer, writer, just an overall talented person, the kid Frias. He put a lot of things into perspective that I personally had never thought about in respect to the bachata genre. The challenges that the artists have to overcome, just navigating the Latin American market in America and just locally, but also us as a culture identifying value in our own art. So it was a very, I will say, insightful conversation. I hope you guys enjoy. Once again, thank y'all for listening. Have a wonderful day. Much love.
Just words.
Nobody cares.
Yo, before we continue talking about all Dominican legacy in all spectrums and from 100 to 1,000%, who we got on deck is my brother, the fucking future of bachata at this point. Now, like, yo, I've been rocking the music all morning. This shit, it's more than bachata. It's just music, man. It's just fly shit. Yeah. It's culture. It's Santo York, as you call it. It's fucking fire, man. And also, you know what? We gotta point out the facts of, like, yo, we gotta start making love and music for more families out there. Yeah. And so and also congratulations to the brothers on deck, because he also just got engaged as of last week.
Thank you.
Who we got on deck? My brother Frias.
Kid
Frias.
We here. Live and direct. Thank you guys so
building.
much for having me, man. I'm grateful to be here and to get to collaborate and work and talk and communicate with other Latino creatives in general, not just Dominican, you know?
Nah,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
man.
Thank you for coming straight from the
1000%.
studio, then heading back to the
For
studio.
real.
Put it in that work. Nah,
in
thank you for
between,
being
in
here.
between, yeah.
Hell
Now
yeah.
we got to make it happen,
breaks,
but we got to
no
make
breaks.
it happen.
It's you know, for this episode, I specifically made sure that we had nothing but men on the show, because we're gonna talk about how the women put us through struggles that we gotta make such something.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. We leave that for the other podcast.
Pero es la bachata, right?
Esa es la bachata, bro. Esa es la bachata. Corta, Vena, bachata. That's what they call it.
What I gotta understand is that why in bachata heads are always in love with somebody else's chick, bro.
Porque son unos fregos.
Dominican level 1000.
That's
17
exactly
kids.
what it is.
So,
Dominican level 1,000, bro. I'm trying to take your chick, bro. Plus, I got 2 more back if I want your girl,
Yes.
bro.
And you gonna raise my kids.
You gonna raise my kids. All 32 of them, bro.
Their wife will be incredible. They'll have the most incredible wife in the world. It doesn't matter.
Yo, that's what
They
it is,
want what
though.
they can't have. That's the human condition,
Nah,
though.
but I
It
think
is.
that's just a man DNA shit, bro. I start trying to tell all the girls, like, yo, listen, it's not us. We were born like this.
Yo,
you know what I'm
but the biggest
saying?
thing is they go out and they sing about it. Like, you know what I'm like
At least they truthful.
like tú bailando con él. Y yo muriendo de celos por ti. Like, yo, he's singing about it, bro. Like, yo.
Yeah, you're right.
Want
You're right.
you.
You're right.
So before we go into all that, share with me how, like, you even decided, because being a New Yorker and all that,
Yeah.
and just, I guess it's a mecca of creativity.
Absolutely.
When it comes to bachata, I know for myself growing up, you know, in my household, not my father specifically, he didn't listen to too much bachata, but, you know, the family did. My father was more into the boleros and shit. Like,
Okay.
you know when there was a woman guest in the house, and Camilo Sestos was playing in the background, and fucking or Marco Antonio Solis and all that kind of shit.
Jose
Jose on deck.
Julio Iglesias.
Coño. So you already know. But la bachata was for the evenings where things did not work out too hot.
Yeah.
But, you know, it wasn't until, like, maybe I was in junior high school or por ahí that another group of kids, like mad group of kids, especially in the hood, you know about all the
1000%.
Junior high school.
Yeah,
matter of fact,
yeah.
We had like a whole urban bachata movement.
We started coming into our own. Like, it went from Jose Luis Perales y toda esa vaina to, like, all right, now this is for us. Now we're going to dance. We're going to do this. And we started getting into it.
You know, and so it's wild, man. But, like, for you know, so for me, I never thought to myself, yo, this is the genre that I'm gonna rock to, you know, day in and day in out. And yo, to commit to it, that's something special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, so what made you say, yo soy un bachatero?
So, in a medium long-winded answer. Yeah, because I don't want to be like, long story short, and then it's a like medium story. But I'll give you like the real deep answer, which is that when I was in high school, my senior year, I fell in love with bachata. I was finally able to understand and value my Dominican culture, and I spent every summer of my life there since I was born. June, July, August, 3 months every summer in DR.
Those are some good summers.
And I didn't appreciate it until I got to high school.
Gotcha.
I started understanding, valuing, and learning my family's culture. And so I remember being 17. I was in DR. I was having a great time. I fell in love with being Dominican. And the music that was always playing was bachata. As I continued to fall in love with that music, I started realizing I was born in 2000. So this is like 2017, 2018. And damn. I'm not trying to style. I'm not trying to style on nobody with the age flex. Pero all jokes aside, man, I started realizing the more I fell in love with that music and was listening to it, I started realizing the lack of new talent that there was. And then I thought to myself, I was like, yo, I'm 17 now. By the time I'm 35 and I have kids and I'm getting married and stuff, there's not going to be no new music for us to dance to. Like, by that point, Aventura will be 35 years old or 30 years old, you know? And the last superstar that bachata has had has been Prince Royce. He came out 09. So I started being like, it hit me. I'm like, yo, this is dying. And then I looked around and I looked at salsa. Their last superstar was Mark Anthony.
Oh, damn.
I was thinking about
Mark Anthony came out in 91.
God damn.
And then I was looking around at merengue and I'm like, merengue? I can't even remember the last time there was a merengue superstar. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not breakthroughs.
Yeah. The little hits
in
here,
salsa,
little
there's
hits
Gillo
there.
Sarante. There's a lot of incredible talent.
Correct.
I said the word superstar.
Yeah.
And that means global impact.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because Jerry Rivera, he was
go.
popping when I was
There's-
growing
there's-
up.
there's-
and
there's
that
dope
nigga
people, yeah.
disappeared.
you know, but
Owns his own jet, I think, by the way. Side note.
right.
I don't know why I know that.
but yeah, pa, so you know, to not make it too Quentin Tarantino, that it basically made me be like kind of like a soldier, man, like kind of like, all right, so I'm gonna put it on my back.
Yeah.
You know, and as I got into it, there was a lot of other very talented young people busting their ass, working really hard as well. But I mean, we can get into it, you know, later on in conversation, but it's incredibly hard to penetrate. It's incredibly expensive, and it is. You can't like bachata and do bachata. You have to love bachata to do bachata, because you will fall out very easily. Like, it's not for the weak. You know, if whoever you see doing it, grinding, they care. They really care. It's not something you do easily.
Well, I mean, just even on the production end, because you need a whole fucking squad.
I was about
That
to say, I
too.
was
You
about
need
to
a
say.
band. You need a whole.
Right? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like you and a guitarra.
Yo,
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. No, and it's not even something you can make on your computer. I mean, they're trying. They've done it.
Yeah.
You know.
But you can hear it. It doesn't sound the same.
It's not the same.
No,
Yeah,
it's
you
definitely
play
not.
Aventura song and then go try to hear
My man.
Manuel Turizo.
Yeah.
I love the Manuel Turizo record. There's everything has pros and cons. Those songs like Rosalía and The Weeknd did a bachata. Manuel Turizo, Enrique Iglesias just did one. Luis Fonsi. Labels are making artists do bachata records right now. Unfortunately, I don't know why they're not signing bachata artists. They're just making
Correct.
pop artists
Other people,
do
yeah.
Bachata, yeah.
computer bachata. But there's pros and cons to everything. What's the pro? A person that likes Rosalía and lives in Poland might never listen to Anthony Santos.
There you go.
Might be turned off by Romeo's music. Maybe, you know. But they like Rosalía and they like The Weeknd. And so
Yeah.
now they find this new rhythm that they find enjoying. What's the downside? They're not really finding what it truly sounds like.
Or true bachatero.
True,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
true bachata sounds like. So
Yeah.
then the problem is maybe when they find an album like We Broke the Rules or God's Project or an album like La Batalla or even Princess Royce's debut out, they hear it and they're like, oh, that doesn't sound like the
Yeah.
Rosalía one.
And you know what's
So-
funny? It's like almost like a gateway, but working backwards, right? Like all this music that was there before, now Rosalía did it, and it's like, okay, let me go dig deep and see. You see all these artists, and it's exactly that. But it's funny, it's just working backwards as opposed to like, okay, I listen to these people. No, I'm gonna listen to Rosalía and work back, and that's
See
what
where
you
it
would
came
hope.
from. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The perfect
now as you mentioned it, I never thought of. I mean, now I'm processing it a little differently, because music industry is my whole thing about being anti-industry in itself is because labels would try to commoditize it. So when they commoditize your project, your music, it's what's the quickest and most affordable way to get your project quick and done. So that's why pop content is so, out there, and it'll get major public advertising and that type of backing because it doesn't need a fucking band. It's just a straight DJ.
Yeah, and that's it.
And that's it. And so you put a pretty white bitch and a fucking DJ and mad fireworks,
Plug and play.
and
Boom.
and that shit is a quick,
It's true.
and so there's that. But then when you have a whole fucking band that requires them to be in sync, to have a synergy, to know the type of music and the culture, because this is not like you're going to take a blues player and be like, you know how to play the guitar and
So
bang
just do
bacata.
that,
It's different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also regionally, if you take a dude from like South America or even Spain, because it goes beyond language, they may not feel it the same way a person from the Caribbean feels it, you know what I'm saying? So as I'm thinking about it, and you're verbalizing it, I'm like, man, these fucking labels ain't signing artists because they don't want to invest the money.
Absolutely.
Because
And
it
then
costs.
they're thinking about touring. That's I might have to take a whole band on tour instead of just one person. Yeah, they budgeting.
That's why you could get an Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
And all them people. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I like Rosalia. She was in the back. But, because I do like the fact that she brought attention to the genre on a mass scale. But the fact is that I'm still like upset at the fact that we're not able to capitalize on it. Because I've always felt that just, one of the colonial issues that we've had in our country is that, people have self-hate. And so when it comes to like a genre like bachata is considered that music. Oh, no, okay, only the campesinos play that shit. Oh, only these people play that kind of music.
Yeah.
So we don't appreciate it. Motherfuckers is in Dominican Republic playing flamenco.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we doing that? But, the genre itself is, I think, I recently learned this fun fact, but it's like the second global genre in the world or some shit like that. And yet we don't have that many bachata artists other than the main Aventura brothers. And I'm like, all right. So, I am glad that you're still fighting that good fight.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, outside of New York, are you finding success? Are you building?
What's funny is that the place that listens to my music the most is not even New York or DR. DR is like in the top 20. It's not even in the top 10 or the top 5.
Wow.
Damn. What?
The number one place that listens to my music is, Italy.
Oh.
Italy.
Shout out
Italy
to
and
Italy.
Spain. It's always between Italy and Spain. And that's because there's a huge bachata community growing out there that just enjoys the music. And they're the ones that play it the most. Also, like I could show you right now on my phone.
Have you been out there yet?
I haven't been over there yet, just because that's a deep conversation. and I gotta be careful because I want to
mucho músico
Yeah.
que
I
lleva.
want to honor the people that show love. But off top of my head, it wasn't loading on my phone, but like Spain and Italy are always there. New York is always numbered. It fluctuates between 1 and 3.
Okay.
It's always in the top
Yeah.
3, New York. I get a lot of love in New York. Number 4 is like Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, and France. So those are the companies. Those are the countries that are usually in the top 5. And so, but Spain and Italy is where my music gets played the most. So
That's dope.
in
bro.
a
That's
beautiful
dope.
world, I would love to go out there and play and even do a tour in Europe.
Yeah.
I would love to. But I think the difficult thing is that I would love to do it the real way with a band.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And the expense of taking a band out there, there's nobody that wants to pay for it. That's the other
chance.
thing. So right now there's like a big movement of like bachata DJs that they do like an adult remix and put a bachata beat on it,
and that's it.
or they'll do like a remix of a Drake song and put a
on
bachata beat.
Yeah.
And so because they didn't grow up in New York or in DR or in Boston, like where there's Dominican communities, they don't necessarily value the element of the live side of it, which to us is everything.
Yeah,
It is. I mean, that's the only way
important.
to-
Yeah,
But-
it's very important.
I gotta be careful when I talk about that because they're also fans. And like nobody who's a business person is like, oh well, we don't want to go play for these fans because they don't like it makes no sense. Like,
yeah.
these people love your music.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So it's a e doble filo, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Claro.
It's two sides. Pero yeah, man, those are like, I get so much love outside of New York and DR. I can't wait. I got an opportunity right now to go perform in Sacramento, out in Cali.
Oh, nice.
And then I know there's some opportunities brewing up in Chicago as well.
Nice.
And I'm hoping, right now I'm networking to make some stuff happen either in Miami or in Texas. So
Fuck yeah.
Dude, that's
so yeah, that's a little bit more of like what's outside of New York, you know, for me at
We
least.
read that in the what is it, Spanish charts in the chart, you
Spotify?
beat,
Yeah.
Spotify chart, you beat Bad Bunny at one point. You
Oh,
we saw that. We're like,
yeah,
yeah,
so-
my man doing some numbers right
I
there.
did that's hilarious. you post just that clip.
We're gonna go viral.
Who the hell does he think he is? Like,
I know.
Que le dio Bad
we're
Bunny.
about to have
Hey, the numbers don't lie,
Yeah,
right?
I
The
gotta
numbers
say,
don't lie.
money researchers going crazy.
We're gonna go crazy.
Analytics.
all right, no. So on Apple Music and iTunes, my album went number 5, and this was in 2020. And so my album number 6 at that point was Yo Hago Lo Que Me Da La Gana. Number 5 was my first album, Eden, and then number 4 was Rauw Alejandro Viceversa, which had like, that's when he went like global, that
Yeah.
todo de ti.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my album was number 5 at that point. I mean, it was only for like a day. But,
Hey, don't downplay it. Don't downplay it.
but you know, it was there, man.
It was there. Don't
It was there.
downplay
And
it.
then my recent album, Si Dios Quiere, was number 7 on the charts.
Oh wow! Yeah,
So,
congratulations!
don't work,
Hell
man.
yeah,
Don't
you
work.
doing, you put it in that work for
Yeah,
real.
it's incredible, man. We no labels, no investors. You know,
And
independent.
that's tough, man. That's tough to do it on your own.
Yeah.
Even now, right? You just left the studio. I know how much money studio time costs. Dude.
Yeah.
I remember for us, like,
Yeah,
bro.
Don't sound too excited about that.
I remember doing reggaeton, and that was just, just us, La Pita, and paying the guy off. Pero muchacho,
He was
that's
still
studio
like,
time.
damn.
Yo, it's just 2 of us. I'm like, that's studio time.
I put
We're
it
like,
to you this way: I got 2 guitarists in the studio right now,
Todavía ahí
waiting.
están.
working.
Wow.
No, they're working.
No,
on it.
they
They better be laying down them tracks.
Yeah.
As soon as I fucking get back, I'm there to lay down some vocals.
So you thinking of staying independent as long as you can? If a major label comes, yo, we like you, whatever, you'll take the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that dream that people have sold, that you can be a superstar independently, is not
Is not.
true. Like
Yeah.
that Russ thing doesn't happen to
Yeah,
everybody.
you need that bread.
I'll put it to you this way, and maybe it was Drake that actually said it, or maybe it wasn't him. I don't know who it was. It was someone
Yeah,
really famous
yeah.
though. They said, think about how many superstars you know that are independent.
Yeah.
You can't name 5.
I'm like, dime tú.
Unless they were real big drug dealers
You
back
can't
in
name
the day.
5. Now you can name
Self-funded,
You
right?
can name very famous people that are independent.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper, Russ.
Yeah.
And Bad Bunny's on an independent label with major label distribution.
Yeah, he got like
Okay,
a
So it's a
different
cheat
deal.
code.
Yeah, he
you know
got
what
a
I mean?
different deal.
Osuna, actually, Osuna signed the $100 million contract with Sony. So
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
his
it's
joint
hard
was-
to be
his joint was-
independent.
you
Be a
can't
superstar.
not super, because why? They still control the industry. So you want to tour? You're not gonna get around Live Nation, bro.
That's
true.
You want
You
to
gotta
play
go
at
through
Madison
the-
Square
yeah.
Garden? There's no independent artist playing at Madison Square Garden. You want to play at MetLife Stadium? You
gotta
gotta
have
be
the
with
connection.
You gotta play the game. You gotta play the game no
and
matter
then what
what.
they'll do is, oh, you don't want to sign with Live Nation, so you can't play at our venues.
Wow.
Now you gotta go play at discotecas.
Indictment por ahí.
or I'll give you an
Discoteca
example.
Raulito.
I'll give you an example. Anthony Santos has never been signed to a major label, and he sold out Madison Square Garden, and he's played at Radio City Music Hall. But what's the twist? He worked with Felix Cabrera. Felix Cabrera was the biggest promoter in New York City for Latin artists. So either you have to know the people, you can do that, which is what Russ does. You know the people that control those areas.
Yeah.
Because Live Nation can't go, well, Felix Cabrera, no, you can't. Like,
because they know he brings revenue.
Madison Square Garden has a relationship with him.
Yeah,
He's
gotcha.
brought them so much money in the Latin market. So, but you got to know those people.
Yeah.
And I'm all right. So let's play devil's advocate. I know Felix Cabrera in New York, but who's that guy in LA? I don't know.
Gotcha.
Who's Felix Cabrera in Miami?
Yeah. Across the
I don't
country,
know.
you're not
Gotcha.
gonna know who the.
So
who
how
are
am
those
I gonna
people.
do a tour that
Gotcha.
big? So
No
you
chance.
got, you got to play. What you have to do this is what I would do, because you had asked me if I was signed to a major label. If it's right, I would. You have to understand, everything is about building leverage. So my job right now, what I would like to do is continue building leverage. So that's why it wouldn't necessarily benefit me if it happened right now, because I can't come and negotiate that much.
Gotcha.
I didn't sell them. I don't have nothing platinum. I sold out shows. I've sold out merchandise. I've had music that has charted. I've had music on the radio around the world, and I had a song that was on the radio in Japan.
Okay.
And it was on the radio. That same song was on the radio, getting spun a lot in DR. So those are things, but then go and try to compare that to Prince Royce.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
So if I'll give you an example. If Prince Royce was independent all this time, and then he tried to go get a deal, he would have an incredible deal. Romeo just fulfilled his contract with Sony. He can be independent now if he wanted to. But he's not. He's going to say, Sony, I want $150 million. You gave Osuna 100.
No
I've been
problem.
more famous than Osuna. I was
problem.
15 years earlier famous than him. I want 150.
Damn.
And so, yeah, if it's beneficial, you should do it. And here's the thing. This is why a lot of artists get screwed. I'm going to tell you who the artists that get screwed when they go to labels are. It's two of them. Lo que son ñoño. Lo ñoño. What's a ñoño altita? A ñoño altita is you got signed when you were 16. You never saved up money to go to the studio. You never saved up money to go pay for your own music.
You thought
video.
you made it.
No, what happened? Well, you sang really good. A drug dealer from your hood saw you, put 250 behind you, and then you never had to work for nothing. So now the drug dealer stops giving money.
Or got locked up.
Got locked up. The funds are frozen.
Yeah.
The label that you signed to, they're like, well, you don't have the investor anymore. We're not gonna put up that money. So now you gotta, you're still signed to us. We'll distribute your stuff, but you gotta work. And then they're ñoño.
Yeah.
No, so that's why those artists won't put music out for years, and they're crying. I want
shelf.
to get out of my contract.
Copy.
I'm not like that. I paid for everything by myself. The first time I ever went to a studio, I was 15. I saved up $130 to go record 3 songs.
Wow.
I was 15 years old. And I'll never forget that. Why? Because it taught me the value of what I was doing. I never had a manager. I never had an agent. My first show, I booked it by myself. My first merchandise, I learned how to do merch by myself. My first project, I put it together by myself. There was no babying me.
Yeah.
The artists that get babied are the ones that complain once they get signed.
Gotcha.
And then what's the second type of artist? Is the people that are incredibly talented but incredibly lazy. So labels have so many of those. These people are phenomenal. They can sing circles around me. They can write. They can make these melodies. Pero son ñoño.
They don't got the grind.
They're lazy. They're not consistent. They don't have discipline, and they think they do. So that's why they feel the world owes it to them. But you don't. You're not Rome. You didn't work as hard as Romeo. Who I put it to you this way: anyone who wants to be where Romeo's at, try working as hard as him.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing.
I'll give you an example, and I talk about him because he's like at the top of my industry, right? I remember when I was 17, I met his mixing engineer, which is the guy that's in charge of mixing all his records, recording everything. This is peak Romeo. This is like when Imitadora came out. You guys remember that song? Yep. That was the album that had
Solo con un beso.
No. Oh. That's a long time ago. You're talking about 2007. I'm talking about 2017.
Okay, got you.
But that album had a bunch of hits on it. And the point is that I met him, and he told me they were performing at TRL. And I go, yo.
MTV joint.
Yeah, on 42nd Street. But this is 2017. It's not that long ago. Romeo's already established, sold out Yankee Stadium a bunch of times.
Madison Square Garden.
And he goes, I go, yo, you look mad tired. I don't know if that's like an asshole thing to say when you meet someone, but he looked really tired.
But you said it really concerned.
I said it like I cared about him.
Yeah.
Yo, you okay?
It's a hope thing. It's a hope thing.
Yeah, you already know the style. So he said, he's like, I'm good. We did a 21-hour session yesterday.
21 hours.
Like, Romeo's still doing 21-hour sessions? Like, he's still that hungry?
Mierda.
He's still that hungry. So these people will do 4-hour sessions and cry.
Yeah.
Bro, you crying? Like, you don't got money to give to your
work.
family
Yeah,
yet.
come
Stop
on,
crying.
word up.
You know what I mean?
And if you got a passion for it, bro, you know.
then you're not that passionate.
You're not that
You're not that
passionate
passionate.
about
You're not. I don't like. I'm very much like Mamba mentality. Very much like. I seen that Jordan documentary on Netflix like 10 times.
She's amazing. What is The Last Dance, right?
Yeah, The
Yeah,
Last
Dance.
Dance. I've seen it like 10
And I
times.
took
Like,
that personally.
Yeah.
yeah, nah, and so
That's the mentality you gotta have.
I
to
don't,
make it.
bro. It's like esa ñoñería, like you know the thing we were talking about earlier that got canceled. Like it got canceled. Okay, life happens. What's the next thing we gotta do?
Correct,
Like let's keep
correct.
going.
Yeah, look
And
ahead.
so, I think those are there's so many benefits to being independent, but there's also a lot more benefits when you're signed to a major label and they like you. That's the key.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole, bro. Value people, respect people,
And work hard.
Now be responsible. Like you would be surprised how just being responsible could get you so far in life.
So what you mean to tell me is that if I do the right things in life, things will work out?
And be real. Yeah, hell
Surprisingly.
yeah. Somewhere, somehow.
Who would have thought?
You might not see it at the time, but yeah.
No,
it
mentira.
does.
No.
Yeah.
No, mi papi, mi mami.
And you
me
know
va-
what
no
bugs
vaina.
me out? Like, if people are willing to invest in you, how would you be lazy? You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
shit
well,
doesn't
and
register with
I
me.
think it's that,
Like, yo,
just
I'm gonna drop a bag on you.
But it's the given because you're not working hard for it. For you, it's just like you don't
También,
see
también,
how it works.
también,
You're just
yeah.
like, all right, I
Yeah.
could be here for 6 hours. Tato, I'm leaving 4. Yo, but they pay for 6. Now you're cansado,
Estoy
you know,
cansado.
boy. And that's
Yeah,
it.
it's
But
crazy.
it's always the same saying, right? It was that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I feel like that applies.
What? Wait,
everywhere.
I'm sorry. Drop that shit
Drop
again.
that shit again. What?
Hard work always beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But but I feel like you could apply
It
that
makes sense,
everywhere, dude. You could apply that anywhere and
Oh,
everywhere.
any industry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a life gem. Don't be
Yeah.
lazy.
No, dude, that's really what it is. But again, people get comfortable with it. It's insane.
Be responsible. Bachateros are lazy, bro. That's why. That's why. There's a bunch of other complexities that don't allow people to break through. But me, that I'm in this for real, and I know a lot. It's laziness. It's you like being with your girl more than you like work.
And again, and the
I
probably
mean, but niggas
complacency,
is
right?
only singing about their girls, though.
Nah. Too much research, bro. For the
but
yeah. Too much research, not enough reporting.
exactly, bro. I thought you was with
that
your girl all
I
week.
thought that was part of getting ready for the
Yeah, but my
songwriting,
man,
the creative
my man,
process.
my man, come on, you gotta go to the studio, bro. How many times you gonna be with your girl and not sing about it, bro?
Yo, they love being with their girl.
That's
like, yo,
crazy.
I just got engaged. I truly love the woman that I'm with, and I value her, and I'm so grateful for her. And I respect her. I could do a 30-minute podcast just talking about how much I love her.
But family
Shout
number
out to
two's
her.
ready.
Shout out
But
to her.
shit.
But the guitar, but my dude's in the studio right now with the guitars, baby. I gotta go
No,
over
you're
there.
You're not
It's-
Dominican 1000.
I'm definitely not. I'm
If your
definitely not
man's
Dominican
fucking
1000.
don't got 2 guitarists in the studio waiting
You're
for
not
you.
gonna be Dominican 1000.
17 kids on deck.
Word up.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
Nah,
My
nah,
man's
nah.
fucking recently engaged. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
Nah. I love my girl. I love my girl.
And
Shout out to her, man. Shout out to her.
Pero, it's like a lack of...
Will the songs
put work in.
Will
You
the
have to put
songs
work.
transition now from I used to?
No, bro. That's like it. No, we doing bachata, bro.
yeah, yo, we
You got to talk to those
Bachata.
heartbreakers,
we
bro.
know the vibes
Bachata's
are.
the only music known as música de amalgue or corta venas.
Yeah,
I guess.
corta venas, yeah.
Corta venas salsa, corta
Yeah,
venas
no.
merengue.
Yeah.
So we can have happy bachata.
Yeah,
happy
you
families.
can. Quisiera saber
It's a
happy.
happy family.
Happy families.
I have
Not taking somebody else's bitch.
I don't have songs like that.
No,
I don't have songs like I don't have a song about cheating. I don't have
Or
a
looking
song
at
about
somebody else.
I have a song about getting something I don't have, but not something that someone else's.
Gotcha.
But also I look at music like stories. So I can tell that story if I want to, but when I create, I'm always like, just like what you guys do, even if it's in a podcast setting, what can I offer that other people aren't offering? So like even in bachata, it's before Aventura, bachata was always about like the suits and the guitar player.
Yeah.
And I had a very like, just picture Anthony, Teodoro, Luis Valga. There's an image that comes to your head when you think about that. Then think about Aventura. Now you think about Yankee Fitteds, Timberlands,
yeah.
change.
More
it changed.
hood, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then Prince Royce came in, then it was like tighter clothes
Yes.
and like,
Muchacho.
skinny, skinny jean vibes.
Yeah.
So, it has always changed, but even when I look at it, like, Bachata's always been about like who's the sexy playboy. Like I don't care about that. Like I look at bachata. Kanye was my favorite artist of all time. I look at bachata like, what would Kanye do if he did bachata?
Oh wow.
And I don't care about being the sexy person. I care about being known as the creative person in bachata. And that's why Kanye's been able to outlast. That's the only person in their 40s that can still just play music in a stadium and it sells out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He's not even performing. He's like, come listen to my album at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And the tickets sell out. No one else could do
he's
that.
a beast.
But even
He's
the
a fucking
process, like
beast.
you look back and you listen to
Kanye's
College
a
Dropout
beast.
and these things, like you rock to it. Even at the end, like the last 15 seconds, all you get is beats. He's like boom, boom, boom,
he's a
boom,
beast.
and you're like,
He's the
yo.
GOAT.
Shout out to
He was
Kanye.
doing
He's a
different things.
fucking.
I'm not
different
talking
things.
about do you agree with how he sees society and politics.
No. Creative wise,
Listen to Graduation and say it's not incredible. You can't. Or you have bad taste. Like, you know how they say music's
Graduation
subjective?
is amazing.
Graduation is not subjective. It's just good.
808, I used to love that shit.
I was never too hot on 808.
808 was my malaga. That shit.
That was like a bachata type of. Yeah. 808 was like a bachata type of.
Vena.
Exactly.
It took me a while to like get into it.
I like 808.
but it's not.
Did you guys
Yeah, I
like
liked it.
Dark Twisted Fantasy?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hell fucking yeah!
Yo,
That shit
to
is
me,
sick.
you know, I was born in 2000, so I grew up. Kanye was the biggest. It was him, Wayne, and 50 Cent.
Yeah,
Like,
the good era. That's a good era.
because
That
I
was a
wasn't
good
born
era
in
to
the
come.
90s, I didn't get to see the grandness of Nas, Biggie,
Yes,
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, yeah.
Jay-Z's still my favorite rapper, but Kanye's my favorite artist.
Artists all around.
And so but I grew up with them just being like astronauts,
Yeah.
like these untouched Wayne, Kanye, 50 Cent, like they were
Especially
untouchable.
at
get to that.
And then when I was in high school, Drake.
Okay, yeah.
So that's another like, oh my God, you know, supernova megastar. But I think like Kanye, and I think like, what can I add to this culture and this music that would make people interested? Like I have a slogan that I say all the time. I want to see bachata in the bodega and on the fashion runway. Like, why can't a bachata song be played at the Louis Vuitton runway?
Dude, you're absolutely right.
Why not?
Damn,
Why not?
But on top of that, you're also a producer.
Yeah.
And so when you're do you play any of the instruments at all, or
I don't. I produce like Michael Jackson.
that's
do this, do that.
but that's how
There we go. It's really more musical directing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than
What's the
anything.
guy with the little thing?
The conductor.
You're a
conductor,
conductor.
yeah.
No, but Quincy Jones has a beautiful quote where he says, you know, if I take your hands to play this piano and play this melody, and I instruct the violinist to play this, and he goes through, it's like, who's to say I'm not playing the music? I'm making the music.
Gotcha.
So, you know, without that creative control, so what I'm trying to allude to is don't
downplay it.
Don't downplay it.
Correct.
Production is,
Absolutely, yeah.
you know, it's a fucking key and pivotal role, because I can guarantee you Kanye does not play a fucking instrument.
exactly. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because I know earlier in his career, Juan Guerra used to be like, all right, he used to write the songs and then make the music for it.
That's crazy to me.
What? Yeah, correct. Right. To me, I'm like, I'll make the song and then be like, and then add the words.
So he'll do the beat.
What
he'll
is
do
your
the
creative process?
He'll make this. He'll write the song and then make the beat.
Yeah, that's an incredible question. I actually start the same way. I start all my songs just singing, and then I don't even have words to it. It's just the melody.
Oh wow.
And then I'll start writing words to that melody, and then I'll do like all on my voice memos. Then I'll do like a guitar idea, and I'll be like, all right, this is gonna go before.
Please give me the sound that you do for the guitar.
Guitar.
I'll give you an example right now. We're working on a song, and
That's right, so you
the intro, I have it on my phone, but the intro goes na 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 na. So I'll do that.
Damn.
And then
That shit sounded good.
And then you
hell
switch your
yeah.
guitarist.
and then so I'm like, all right, I know how the song's gonna start, and then I'll have the melody. No piensas que si me da la cabeza.
Oh wow.
No hay otra forma de
Dropping
decirte.
jewels right
So
there.
and there's no words. That's mumbling, you know. But then I'll sit down
Yeah,
and
you
I'll
feel
put
like,
the
I
words
like
to
that
it.
shit already.
Yeah. Word up.
So you flesh it out. So you flesh it
I
out.
start fleshing it out, and then once I have some good stuff written, a couple guitar ideas, I'll call my boy Joelito. I'll go to his studio.
Shout out to Joy.
Shout
Lito.
out
He's
to
the one in the
Joelito.
studio
He's in the
right now.
studio right now.
Yeah.
And
Joelito, my man, wait. Playing the guitar in the studio
Joelito
right
está sudado
now.
ahora mismo.
Yo, Joelito like, where the fuck is he at? Me duele los dedos,
Yo, but I'm not a dictator. Like I bought them food before I left. I was like,
you ain't leave again. Don't stop playing till I leave.
yeah, like no Trujillo vibes. Like, I take care of my people. That's a part of the, like what I was talking about earlier. Like value the people that are around you. You know, give respect. So. They were, you know, they was eating Jersey Mike's, and I'm sure they're back. I'm sure. Shout out Jersey Mike. I'm sure they're back to the thick of the
paying you. They paying you?
Nah.
Fuck.
So okay.
Matter of fact, mute that.
So going back to the creative process. So the first song you wrote, how did that come about, and what's the process then to now? Are you still doing the same thing? Did you start the same way, where you just
The
come up with the
first
melody?
song that I wrote.
Yeah. And why?
In
Tell me
life,
why.
like on in,
Sí.
Yeah.
No, pero este estaba como 15 años ahí, right?
No,
Even
I wrote my first song. All right, so that's a fun story. I'll tell you guys a little bit about that. I wrote my first song when I was 10. When I grew up, I used to do hip hop, Christian hip hop. So I grew up in church my whole life. I still go to church. Huge part of my life and my routine. And I don't do it because it's a routine or because I was forced to go. I truly love it. I believe in it, and I believe in the good that it does. And so I know it might sound crazy to you guys, but there's a huge Christian hip hop community in the world that also sells out arenas. And does
Kurt Franklin is one.
That's gonna do that. No,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. He sold out Barclays Center.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I remember hearing Rabito as a reggaeton artist. Rabito.
Okay.
He was a reggaeton artist. Yeah.
Christian reggaeton artist.
Rabito.
There's a really famous, like the Jay-Z of Christian reggaeton is a guy named Redimido.
Okay.
He's Dominican actually, super famous. But I grew up doing Christian hip hop, and actually I was getting really big in that world because what happened, long story short, was I went to this church in Queens, and in that church they were known as like the innovative church in New York City. So churches from all over the world would copy their formula of how they did church, what they did on social media,
all the way throughout. Wow.
Like they were from New York, and they had some of the most incredibly creative people on their team.
Like that New York
I mean,
swag.
people like the photographer at the church back then takes pictures for Beyonce now.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so that level of creativity and excellence was at my church that I grew up in.
Damn, that's awesome.
And so at 10, I started writing. By the time I was 13, I was rapping on stage at that church. Every Friday night for the youth service, there would be 1,000 teenagers, not college students,
No.
adults. 1,000
1,000
teenagers at this church on Friday nights.
Now,
All the hot Christian rappers, when they released their
space?
album,
Space is huge.
when they released their album, they would come and perform at my church because it was the first church that did Christian hip hop and accepted it.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of Christians back then were like, no, that's the devil's music, blah blah. And these guys, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were kind of like, we can take anything and glorify God with it. And so they flipped it on its head, and they made incredible music for its time. I grew up in that. By the time I was 13, I was the youngest person that had rapped on that stage. And so I was performing there all the time. I started building a name in Christian hip hop and writing records. And then I found that my best skill was actually writing hooks, lo coro.
Okay.
So then what started happening was even the songs I wasn't on, I started writing. And then there was a famous Christian rap duo that came to our church, and they saw me and my boy rapping. And they were like, yo, we got to connect with you guys. They connected with us, and then I started writing songs for other artists. At 16, getting money, writing songs for people.
Yeah.
And so I was growing a lot in that world. And that's how I started writing music. And so at that time, I was doing hip-hop, writing to beats and stuff like that. And eventually it got to a point where I was performing a lot. I opened up on tour for some artists. I met this incredibly talented artist named Andy Mineo. He's like the Drake of Christian hip hop. He's actually from Inwood. And he's a white kid that grew up in Uptown, but he's an honorary Dominican.
Gotcha.
He's like Dominican level 100. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the point is that I was like hitting that level where I could have took that full time, and then my senior year came and I fell in love with bachata.
Oh wow!
It just hit you.
And yeah, I mean that story too is another long story, but I fell in love with bachata. I went to Bible college in Australia. What? So I was actually I went to college in Australia, and I was out there for a semester. I was living in Sydney, and I was studying to be a youth pastor and still do music. Because
shit.
at that time, I could have still done both.
So
like
juggle, yeah.
play music, whatever, and then have that job where I would be working with the youth ministry. And so I went to study pastoral leadership and different styles of leadership, communication.
Oh, in Australia.
And
Down
then what
under.
happened was that it's unfortunate, by the time I was out there in school, I was just, the whole time I just wanted to come back to New York and do bachata.
Oh my God.
wow.
And so I had to be real with myself. I had to be like, right now I don't have any kids. I'm not married. I don't have to pay a rent. I'm not obligated to do this in this stage of my life. I said, if there's any time I should do this, it should be now.
Now.
If I want to pursue bachata, I got to do it now that I'm 18. There's no leverage. I don't have anything that I got to worry about. So I spoke to my parents, and they're so supportive, and they love me a lot. And I've shown them my discipline. And so they were like, hey, like, if you're going to do it and work hard. Come back home. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Que si tú haces esa vaina,
Shout out-
hazlo bien.
Shout out to your parents and didn't tell you like go to school and get a good trabajo. They saw that you had a dream and they were like, yo, you know what? Go
Follow it.
for it.
Yeah.
Wow. So that semester out in Australia, you were just like bachata.
Bro, it was
bachata.
eating my mind.
But was it like you listen to other artists, or just like even there were you writing things on your own?
I
Like,
was writing just the same way I was telling you how I create
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
There was no musicians I could work with.
man.
So I had all these ideas in my phone building up. And actually, one of the songs that I wrote, the first bachata song I ever wrote, is my biggest bachata song still in my catalog. It's the song that was played in the radio in Europe and Japan.
Oh, wow.
And
Which one is it?
it's called Ella No Quiere.
Okay.
Ella No Quiere, and that record is very important for me because it's the song
first?
that opened my music up to people around the world.
And you felt it, man. That's
So I wrote that song while I was in Australia.
Dude, that's a super upbringing. It's like, mielquina. Fue así entonces. So that's...
That shit sounds wild.
Hell yeah.
It's a crazy story.
You never thought of putting
inspiring.
Christian and bachata together?
Yeah, I have a song on my last album. So my last album is called Si Dios Quiere.
Oh, okay.
So I named it that.
I didn't think of it.
Yeah, you think about it like that? After the story, now I know why.
I named it that, number one, because when I make music, I think about universal language. One of the most common things we all say to each other is like, si Dios quiere. You know what I mean? And so I did it because it's this phrase that we always say in passing.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it was also like the English translation of that is God willing. So it's this idea of like, if God wants it to happen, it'll happen. And I loved it. In Spanish, it's a common phrase, and in English, it's a powerful statement.
Yeah, it is.
So
funny enough, yeah.
I on that album, the last song is called Gethsemane, and Gethsemane is the last garden that Jesus prayed in before he was crucified. And so that song is a conversation between me and God, talking about fame, talking about money, talking about stress, anxiety, feeling empty sometimes.
This whole time I
being
thought you
tired.
were talking to a chick. Fuck.
He was talking to God, bro. He was talking to God.
He's like, yo, this is not as Corta, Vena as I thought, man.
Bro, because I'm thinking my man's talking to Shorty, talking about like, damn, man, if I get famous, we not gonna be able to rock. And all that shit. All that
the whole
thing,
time.
Diablo.
Mira, right?
He's like, yo, this is not Dominican level 1000.
No, just saying, like, wow, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
That
Yo,
shit.
but even generally, like how far bachata has come, right? Bachata era música del barrio. Bachata era, it was like what reggaeton was when it started. And I was big on reggaeton. And talking about coming of age, it was that. It was separating yourself from what your parents listened to, and even like the old school bachata to like, oh, esto pa nosotros ahora. Like,
And the most simplest way to dance.
Exactly. Oh, dude, 1, 2,
What,
3.
bachata?
1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
I think
Is it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3?
I think
no?
bachata. I think it's not the simple. I think merengue is the simplest.
Well,
Merengue is 2 steps.
It is.
You just
You're
gotta
right.
move
back
your
and
hips.
forth, back
You're
and
right, you're
forth.
right.
Move your hips.
You look, it's 2 steps this way or 2 steps
that
front
way.
and back.
Yeah.
I think that
It's just that you gotta have swing. Like
gotta have
I'm not.
swing.
I got a stiff body, so I don't move that much when I
swing.
dance. Yeah. And my hips be stiff.
yeah.
My girl
It's
loves
una
dancing.
escoba, bro.
It's shy, bro. It's shy. Juan Luis Guerra doesn't know how to dance.
Juan Luis Guerra, yeah, that's why.
He says a quote. I steal it from him all the time. I don't know how to dance the music, but I can make it.
No way. Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
He's
that,
mad
that
tall.
works.
He's
that
6'7". How he's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
yeah.
swinging his
Word.
ass? Like, he can't do it.
Why do
Come
you
on.
get a 6'7"?
No
Juan
one-
Luis Guerra 6'7".
Yeah, why?
NBA. Why was he in the NBA?
Wow. 4:40.
Yo, look at
would
like you're
never
gonna
thought
watch
that,
his
bro.
videos
Yo.
different now. You're gonna be like,
He's always
"Damn."
sitting down most of the time. I see him. No wonder.
You never
It's a power
see
forward,
him
right? Melo
perform
could be
with
like Melo.
anybody that looks his height.
That's crazy.
He's actually 6'7" or 6'6".
Yo, we should do
But-
it. We should do a Bachatero all-star team.
Yo, for
Bachatero.
real, damn.
Oh, that's fire.
Right,
Nobody has ever.
Bachatero.
Who would be your Bachatero top 5, starting 5?
Oh man.
Oh, that's great. I want
Now-
even
now
if you don't
has
know a
to
lot.
be-
Yeah, I don't know a lot
Now
about
it has to
Bachateros.
be obviously Juan Guerra. I gotta put him at center. I don't think anyone taller than him.
God damn, man.
I have to put him at center.
At this
Yo,
point.
can I have more of this water?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
At
bro.
this point, of course.
Man, Bachatero for top 5 put me on the spot. Romeo looks like an athlete. I'll throw him out
like
there.
Wait, but we doing it because they look like they play
No,
ball or
I'm
because
doing
of
it
the
on
song?
music.
Oh, music.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
like
go play
right now we got
ball.
the US. Nah, the USA
We about
team
to
right
go.
now. You see how they put together.
My
Yo, he's
actually
like,
talking
Juan
about
Guerra has the
basketball.
center.
Whoa,
Hombre,
it's a
okay.
center.
Tato, déjeme ver.
No. Starting 5 bachata.
Oof. Oh, for me? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Juan Guerra is definitely up there.
Okay.
Romeo's up there. His penmanship
Go.
is crazy. Jos Casarante.
My favorite singer.
Elvis Martinez, which I love a lot. And let me see who else could throw in there.
Yeah, throw in-
And I get it. You got Anthony Santos, you got Nereida.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I get it, but let me see. But to me, that I would really rock.
You got Elvis, you got Joscar, you got Romeo, you got Juan Luis Guerra.
And then you know what? I'm gonna throw in one that you're gonna be like, why? From the BX, yo, bro. Toby Love. What did I Toby Love? That album.
Toby Love's nasty.
When he dropped, whatchamacallit?
Tengo un amor. Celda Frias,
Zelda
crazy.
Fria, yeah.
That's
When
a crazy record.
Dude, I was like, yes. So
That's
yeah,
a crazy
Toby Love.
record.
That's my 5 there. That's my 5. But if you want to go play ball, yo, ahí mismo en una cancha, un 8-9. Jose Juan Guerra center. He's like, yo, espérate, wait, now.
Yeah,
That's not what I
wait,
meant.
wait,
I was like,
wait.
whoa.
I'm about to get
Where you
some-
going with that?
I'm about to draft some jerseys. Let's get a game. Let's get a pickup game.
That would be a great tournament. I would
Oh,
not pick
God.
anyone old in that case.
Gotcha. Who you got? Who's your top 5?
Yeah, who is your top
Music?
five?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Top 5 bachateros. No order, but I know the top 2 in order. Like for me, the GOAT, and you could argue it because of numbers. Numbers don't lie. Romeo, number 1, greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And then number 2, Anthony Santos.
Yeah.
For sure. Anthony Santos to
He's
me,
a beast.
He's Jay-Z and Romeo's Drake. You know,
Bro.
or you
Yeah.
could look
Yeah.
at it like Anthony Santos is KRS-One or Big Daddy Kane, and Romeo's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
However you want to look at it.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
But yeah, so I got them top 2.
Me too.
Nobody got more hits than Anthony from the old school. And then I guess the rest of the top 5, this would be no order. I love El Chaval. I think El Chaval is incredible.
Yeah, Chaval is cool.
He's ridiculous. He has a lot of hits. I'm a huge fan of Raulín Rodriguez.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I love his
You never
music.
go wrong. You can never go wrong with any of these 5. Like
And
it's just,
then that last spot, it's hard because I have to, being a kid from New York, you have to respect Prince Royce if you do this
Yeah, you're
because he was the last superstar.
shout out to the Bronx, baby.
He made pop bachata records.
Yeah.
Aventura didn't do that, you know, and Aventura made Bachata NYC. They
Yes,
made
yes.
bachata cool, and Royce made it pop.
Yeah, got you.
You know,
Right.
I'm not saying that he took it further than
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but
Aventura's astronomical,
So
but
they both did they.
they
Correct.
both helped.
But
Yeah.
but even so, like right, Aventura did what they did, and Royce went and took his own spin on it, and even just to separate himself a little bit. Like
he
Yeah,
made
he
it
does.
more
huge.
Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
there you go. That's a good way to put
But
No,
it.
but you can't hate that.
Yeah,
Cause
not
it's
at
pop.
all. Not at all.
Like Royce will sell out a stadium in
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
You know,
One
30
thing that I got to shout out to, all Spanish people, they keep it true to the old school music. There's not one baby shower you go to that you don't listen
Yo,
to.
shout out to-
all those people right there. There's
Yeah,
not one baby
Anthony,
shower.
Luis,
bro. All of them.
Zacaria.
Yo, one thing about
Zacarias would be in my top
Yeah,
5.
one thing about
Alright.
Spanish
If it wasn't
people,
Royce,
hell
it would be
yeah.
Zacaria.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
One thing about Spanish people, we keep
Except
that
for
old school
Ferreira,
music
man.
on float, bro.
Yeah, that's why they don't
Every
like
baby
nothing
shower,
new.
That's why they don't like nothing
Yo,
new.
hey, new shit. Like,
Yeah. hell no.
Shout out to Dre's baby shower promotion company. Dre Showers.
baby showers by Dre.
Yo, baby showers by Dre. There you go. If you have
Yo,
a baby
you
shower coming up,
always
hit up
hear
Dre.
those old
He got
school
the,
music.
he got the NDAs too, so if you got a second family, he won't tell nobody.
You got a discount. You got
Keep
a
it
second
on the-
family because you're climbing up to the 1,000.
Yeah.
1,000% of Dominican. Yo, man.
The only baby shower company with
Awesome
NDAs.
Word out, yeah, hell yeah.
The more the merrier.
Like,
Oh,
also,
Lord.
if you add a tip, I won't post this.
No pictures.
This won't be on my social
No
media.
pictures.
Be blurred out.
Yeah.
I'll Photoshop you out.
Yeah,
We
fuck
will have
that.
the little pockets with the little things that hold the phones.
Yeah.
We don't,
yeah,
no phones
yeah.
allowed.
We locking them shits up. We locking them
your
shits
phones
up.
up.
Yeah.
That's like a deluxe baby shower. It's another add-on.
Yeah, that's another add-on.
And you need the little magnet to take it out.
Hell
Yo, but when you said that, you know, that made me think of, I haven't been to a baby shower in a while. Yo, do you still give out the ceramics? Remember you used to give out the ceramics?
Oh, them
When we
shit,
were younger,
yeah.
remember?
I don't think they do it.
And everyone's moms kept them in the chinero for like years.
It's the little porcelain doll, random porcelain doll. with
It's
the-
el 99, baby shower de Ingrid. And you're
and
like,
that shit goes in the bureau that nobody ever
yeah,
touches and
no.
opens.
God
Yo,
forbid.
there's not even that many baby showers anymore, bro.
Nah.
People just have sex, smoke hookah, and take Plan Bs.
I don't know what happened, man.
There's
Yeah,
no
times
more.
are changing.
There's
Times
no
are
more
changing.
Plan. Yo, and then it's even sadder because there's really no more weddings, bro. There's more baby showers than
Oh,
weddings.
there are
Yeah,
baby
hell
showers and
yeah,
weddings.
hell yeah.
I'll be like,
the baby
"Diablo,
shower is
loco,"
the
like-
wedding.
Yeah.
It's the wedding.
Que la vaina está cara.
Baby shower just también.
Yeah,
La vaina está cara.
I'm like, well, how much you would have charged for your promotion company for the baby shower?
That's on the low, bro. That's
a
negotiation
DME.
right
Yo,
there.
He has low income rates.
Yeah, no income rates. If
You got Section 8, we have a deal just
yeah,
for you.
just for you, just for you.
Oh man,
You take that.
I'm a little upset that like my number one, which is Luis Vargas, was not even in y'all top fives.
Oh, my
and I'm like,
God.
God damn.
I mean,
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why
Luis.
Luis Vargas is another GOAT that you have to respect.
I know
Anthony
exactly you know with
Santos
this.
played Guida for Luis Vargas.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
I nailed it.
So
Yep.
so you can't.
damn.
You
we-
can't.
there's no
You're
Luis.
right.
There's no Anthony.
Yeah,
Correct,
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
And there's no Chaval if there's
Yes,
no Luis.
yes.
I'm
Either.
like
Right.
listening to y'all, and I'm like,
And
wow,
Luis
man.
Vargas.
my-
Oh, give us your top five. Give us your top five.
No,
So
no, no.
Luis
I mean, just my
Dame tu
one.
fa- dame
is-
He was
tu
like,
no, no, no.
just my top one.
He's like, give you one.
No,
No, but you're right. You're right. I feel like
He was like, I hope they do a 1v1.
One on one.
Think of the COVID days, right? Bring that
1-on-1.
back, yo.
I remember seeing Anthony Santos perform in La Marina.
Oh hell,
That's
I was there with
Oh,
you,
yo,
bro.
my man.
Yeah, he turned that motherfucker out, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know
Yeah.
what drug dealer paid him, but
I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
But it was legit. It felt like
It
a
was
private.
insane.
Wasn't Jay-Z? I felt there was a hip hop artist that was there in the building, like
There
just
was,
hanging out.
there was a lot of celebrities there.
Yo, it was
It was
popping.
insane. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tigre. Yo,
He
When was
showed
this?
out. He showed
When
out.
was
oh,
this?
no, this
man, that
was.
shit was
I mean, I had to
crazy.
be like, I was 14. So this would
He
be.
was 14 at La Marina.
Yeah.
He was a badass 14.
No, no,
Nah,
yeah.
hell no
You
way.
were
I had to be like around 18, maybe.
18. So
Yeah.
then I was
I
17.
must have 14.
17
Tato.
around
14 is crazy.
Tato,
Yeah.
Lente.
Yeah, yeah,
Tato.
nah, I had to be
No,
like 18,
but yo,
19.
we used to go.
Oh, yeah,
We used to go all the time. Yeah.
It was
You knew
wild of
somebody, I knew
times.
somebody. I knew
yeah.
somebody.
Anthony Santos charges $250
That's
to
what
perform.
that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
Like, yo, how the hell they got Anthony Santos
Yo,
there,
I was
bro?
mind blown. But
That's,
I gotta
that's-
look this
that's
shit up.
Dykeman drug money right
But
there.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly what it is.
100% laundered.
Exactly
But-
what it is. But
Laundered.
but one thing
He
is
played
that
limpio.
he puts on a show.
Yeah. I
He
was
puts on a
like,
show.
Sumayimbe en el
Oh my
escenario.
God, yeah. He
Hasta
puts
las
on a
5
show.
de la mañana. No hay rabo,
He
no
grabs
hay
that-
mayimbe.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah.
But yeah, but Luis Vargas, man.
But that's not to let me come back and focus back on you, my brother, because yes, it's wild. We do have to be appreciative of the lineage and the history, and especially how beautiful it is that so much talent comes from such a small country, right? And fortunately enough, we land here in New York, which is like the capital of the fucking world,
Yeah.
and
Literally.
we can have exposure to so many things. But what's beautiful is how we can organically still maintain some integrity to our roots and shit. So I think
Yeah.
it's dope that, throughout your entire journey of hip hop, religion, and combining those forces, and then deciding, hey, you know what? Let me go to bachata because
Yeah.
that's my true calling. I think that shit is fire, man.
Thank you, bro.
That-
Thank
that-
you, thank
Yo,
you, thank
and,
you.
and you telling your story, it feels like this project continuity. It's
Yeah.
a project like, yo.
And you still,
The
man,
story,
you
the
just
story
torch.
continues.
Here's the torch.
The story
Yeah,
continues.
yeah.
Carrying the
Story.
torch, man.
I mean, the fact that you're gonna leave here and be like, all right, I'm gonna go right back
Back
to
to
the
the
studio.
studio.
That's the
Oh, yeah.
grind, bro.
That
Hell
podcast,
yeah.
para el estudio.
Para el
Compra
estudio.
Jersey Mike's, para el estudio.
Estudio,
Que para allá, para el estudio.
You gonna take him some casa mofongo?
No. Par de pastelitos, por lo menos.
Yeah, some cachapa.
Yeah.
So
bro.
for people that want to see you perform,
Yes.
what are some of the venues that we could look forward to seeing you? Just catching you. In the near future, is there a place local that you always go to, or?
Yeah, so the way that I look at shows is from a different perspective than maybe other bachata musicians. I think the the less you perform, the more valuable and exclusive you are.
Okay.
I'm not saying don't perform a lot. I think all bachata artists, especially at the level I'm at and my peers, we should all be performing a lot. But I think when you perform too much, people don't care to see you. You're not as valuable.
All right, you decrease your value.
So I'll give you an example. I did my first concert with a full bachata band at a concert venue, not at a club, not at a lounge, a concert venue. I just did it this April. We sold 210 tickets. And so it was a huge show. Yeah, it wasn't no cheap tickets either. It was like $45 a ticket.
But you headlining. He was headlining the whole
It was
show.
my show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was my
Shit,
show.
damn.
My concert. I wasn't like opening for someone.
wow.
else. It was Frias live in New York.
Oh, wow.
So it was 210 people that bought tickets to go see Frias, you know? And so you build that kind of value. Number one, by being exclusive, but number two, by not oversaturating yourself.
I understand.
And so I think the formula that might have worked in the early 2000s where they play at all the restaurants and all the lounges, it doesn't necessarily translate in a city like New York because everybody thinks they're famous. So they don't care, bro. You got to be outstanding and excellent for them to follow you on Instagram after you sing for an hour. You know, how many times you been to a restaurant, someone sitting with a guitar, and you be like, "Yo, that's cute," but yeah, man. So look, for real, I didn't like the way you said that the other day, and I know that you want me to love your family, how I love my dude. You know what I mean?
That is accurate.
But the way that your mom spoke to me, so
and I think that shit came from like
yo, my man.
I think
I'm freestyling right now.
A lot of those, guys are a lot of guys that they had the dream, unfortunately. They didn't, because it's much older guys that do that shit. That sounds wrong.
There's some young ones too, though. And I'd be like, loco, you taking the wrong pela. Oh shit, that's the wrong.
That's the wrong pela.
That's the wrong.
Así, no?
No, okay. Yo. You chase any dream, I can go ahead pela, and you gotta be willing to.
That's not the pela they're supposed to be.
But yo, you killing yourself, dog. Like, you better off go kill yourself making content.
Correct.
Do 100 TikToks.
Yeah.
And try to see if you come up with a clever enough caption for the algorithm to push you somewhere.
That's the type of pela that you give it the belt to your mom. Mommy, dame.
Let me tell you about the restaurant lounge scene because they'll really be like, come perform with your band for $250. Like one musician costs like 7 of us. Or they'd be like, okay, yo.
Got the drummer, got the guitar, got the weed. But man, what we gonna do with 250?
No, they'll be like, yo, like we'll give you food.
I'm about to say.
My nigga, food.
¿Me puedes llevar un lonche? Si lo pagas.
Si lo comida te damos.
Si lo pagas.
That's wild disrespectful.
Horrible, like not valuing the artist at all. That. I shouldn't say that story, but
no. Which is fine. Like I said, I remember doing reggaeton, and it was like and shout out for them giving us a chance. It was 3 of us, and it was like a little restaurant in Kingsbridge. And they say, "Venga, los muchachos." We went. There were like 3 people there. We're like, "Hey, okay." Sí, párense ahí, canten.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was in the
you singing in front of the bathroom and shit. Like, yo, why are people walking behind me while I perform my new single?
Párense ahí.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
So what you're really trying to say is, work smarter, not harder.
Oh, my man.
Yeah.
That's
what he's saying.
Yo, go hard on TikTok.
Thank you for landing us, Ron.
Yeah.
My man fucking went on the whole tirade and shot down the whole industry. Because it's true, though. It is very unfair. I mean,
fucked up.
I will say this. Within the Latino market, because the means are limited, I guess, for everyone, but there is very limited value vested in interest in wanting to grow with each other.
Yeah.
Because Tato, all right, yo, you have a whole band, but maybe like we collaborate. Rather than you bringing the whole band for $1,000, bring like 3 niggas and keep it moving. Pero que no, bro, they would like,
lowball you right away, bro.
They'll be like, nah, you good. And
yo, like you gonna make in 2 bottles what I could pay these 7 guys. You're gonna sell 2 Clase Azules that I could pay. Like that's one scammer.
Yo, man, you're not
one
wrong.
bottle's $250.
You're not wrong.
Yo, come on, bro.
One bottle's $250, bro.
Yeah.
And that's killing. That's also why it's killing. There's no new artists because it's like, damn, like
no incentive.
you know what?
You
In an ideal world, I would love to play all the time and go to Casa de Mofongo and go here and go there and go there, and you can't. It's literally you can't. how could me as an artist, how could I come out of pocket? That's okay. Let's say I was an artist hustling, which I am right now. I don't mind not making money sometimes for the right moves. But then let's say I'm one of those artists that's playing every weekend at a different restaurant.
No, but if you
You're
have
telling me
exposure to
every-
the sound system, if something is like, if it's worth it.
Yeah.
But yo, there's some spots that.
No, there's so many spots that it's not worth it. You're not gonna leave with no new followers. You're not selling CDs, so
Yeah,
it's
see
not
that.
people coming and you.
And buying
You could be
shit.
like in 91 or 2003.
Oh, yeah, so your merch,
I could have
CDs.
came with a box of CDs and be like, okay, at least if I could sell 15 CDs tonight, I know that I'll leave with 150. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which that was way more in 2001
Yeah,
than it
yeah,
is
yeah.
now.
No, that's awesome. You
$500.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it wants to be.
I don't know, man.
But you lose. You're saying that you lose more when you do little.
The little shows,
venues
it
like
doesn't
that.
help because what you could do, not to be a know-it-all, but make a like bust your ass for 6 months trying to make a video viral. Do a bunch of different TikToks, see what's working and what's not working. Okay, this video got 300 views, but this one got 1,500. Okay, and then this one got 5,000. What's the difference between this and this? Then keep scaling it, and then when something goes viral, which it very easily can because of TikTok and Instagram, it's hard, but it's also not hard because it's a like the lottery. It's a chance game.
Yeah.
So if something pops, then you could charge. Look at Ice Spice. Ice
Yeah.
Spice had
Oh
one
my
song go
God.
viral. She was charging $20,000 to perform with one
That's
song.
crazy. Yeah. That's wild.
20K to
Yeah, that's
perform.
wild.
Now
That's
it's
wild.
$250 to get her to perform.
Yeah, it's wild.
So
Shout out to the BX. for
Yeah,
us.
for real. Another BX
shout
man.
out to Uptown.
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
crazy.
man, I feel like I'm talking with my friends in a sala right now.
I mean, that's the idea.
I'm gonna tone it down, man. What y'all want to talk about?
And the thing is,
That's the
I mean,
idea.
that was the idea. It's
Yeah,
just
right.
words, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. It's all good. Oh man, yo. With that said, actually, that's a good transition because we're at an hour. We're gonna transition a last call for words. My brother, Dre Drizzo.
I ain't gonna lie, this was an awesome fucking conversation, bro. Like, I had a lot of fun, bro. Yo, keep doing what you're doing, man. This generation right now, they don't really know about the true old school bachata, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think
This
this generation.
generation-
Yeah, this generation's not. So for you bringing it back and keeping the culture alive, bro, I commend you all your
you,
grind. I commend you and thank you coming after your studio session. We
Not
appreciate
after.
it, man.
In between. Not after. In between.
Correction,
Yes.
in between.
During.
I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. It should have been a ball, bro.
Nah, I've had a great time. I have a new single that's out.
Hey.
Quisiera saber.
Claro.
Quisiera
Gotta
saber.
throw that in there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Gotta
hell
throw
yeah.
that in there. Incredible song. I wrote that song about my now fiance. I wrote it 3 years ago when I met her, and I saved it because I knew I wanted to put it out if I got engaged.
Oh, wow.
So the
Perfect
time
timing.
came, and so I
Damn.
decided to
Perfect
put it
timing.
out because
That's awesome, man.
I knew. So it's a very special record to me. For the people that are in love or are pursuing someone, I think it's a song they're gonna relate to a lot. And I feel the main thing I would like people to leave this podcast with, out of all the tangents and all the laughs and all the free thoughts, is that there's a new generation of bachata that's working really hard to keep this music alive. It's the music that we grew up dancing to in our homes, at weddings, at baby showers, at family parties, on Christmas. And I'm going to keep working so that it doesn't die. And I'm going to keep working until it's not working. In the sense that they're going to have to kill me if they want me to stop. Because, I care too much. I'm not slowing down anytime soon. The foot is on the gas pedal and it's full steam ahead. And I hope that people would be open to hearing new music. I know, especially as Latinos, it's very easy for us to divert to what we know because humans love familiarity. And I think I would ask the people that listen to this podcast, the guys in this podcast, and anyone watching, that you would give new bachata artists a chance. Listen to them. You're not obligated to listen to what you don't like, but give it a shot. I'm sure there's going to be some records that you like and some artists that you think are dope. And I love this music. I hope people love it. I hope that people are excited about what's coming. And I hope that they can enjoy the music that we make with so much effort, so much blood, sweat, and tears, all of our money, and with so much time. It takes time. Bachata's not reggaeton or dembow or hip hop. We can't make it on a computer. if someone told me make a bachata song by tomorrow, I can't do it. I can't do a good job at least. You know, I need to record the guitars. I got to record the bass. I got to record the bongos, the guida, the piano. I got to record my voice. I can't do it, you know.
Wow.
So it just takes longer.
Yeah.
And so I would hope that people would see the value in the time that we put into it. And I can speak for myself. My shit is hot. So listen to my music. I won't fail you. I'm sure there's something in there that you like.
We believe it.
man.
We believe it. And you know, it's funny, like, before we started, I was talking, we were talking earlier, and I was like, I've just been disconnected from bachata for so long. Just, you know, summertime, and it's so much easier now, right? You have dembow, you have all these different things.
Yeah, it's fun. It's more fun.
Correct, but still, it's like I said, music that we grew up on, that we know very well. And with my last call, I'm gonna say same thing I said before, right? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But in this case, dude, you're super talented and you work very hard. So I see you going places, man. I'm a big fan, and I'm glad you came on, man.
No, and I have I'll share with you guys once this wraps up. But I actually have a playlist called New Age Bachata, and it's all the songs I like from the new bachata music that's
awesome.
come out.
Nice. Yeah, hell
it's on Spotify and Apple Music, so I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, cool.
You can see if there's stuff that you like on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We'll share with everybody
yeah.
else. Yeah. It's wild because, you know, you said new generation, and sometimes we toss these terms, and I do at times forget how experienced in life I am.
Good way to put it. Good way to put it.
And scientifically speaking, there is something called that after 33, you hit something that's called taste freeze, meaning that you only listen to what you've listened to for the previous 33 years. Anything after
Wow.
Is that
that's a
real research?
real scientific
And that
thing.
sounds very real.
I believe
No,
it.
no, you know, I do
I
believe it too.
believe it.
You will see it on the fun fact.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I can understand, especially from our culture, why people always revert to what they've only known, because, you know, people at what age our parents came to this country, it was always to, you know, while they were here, they were working and trying to adapt and adjust and assimilate and all these things. And the only thing that can take them back home was the music and the food, you know. But those are the things that always stay true to home, because that's why there are timestamps in our life, and they will forever be, which is, you know, during the holidays, celebrations, all these things. And, you know, that's one thing I've considered as to why sometimes the growth of me wanting to expand my musical taste has hit a ceiling. But then there are other times like, you know, the market saturation of all the other tons of content that that doesn't speak to me, because I can understand that it's mass production. But when it comes to something like bachata, it is much more involving. So outside of it taking long to produce, it's the organic approach of the actual human intent of creating from every aspect. So from, you know, the low end to the high frequency, from the bass, guitar, the drums, you know, but that, in order to get all that together, is you have to have an unspoken meeting of the minds with 5, 6, 7 people.
Everyone on the same page.
Everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
And in order for this to work, and it takes time, you know. And so when I say it takes time, what I mean by that is respecting the process. Fortunately, you're at a space and time in your age where I believe you will win, because if you continue to go with that same attitude, I think it's a winning mindset.
Yeah.
Not only because you're putting in the work and doing the effort and all that, but there's genuine care. And I can understand the frustration of like, oh, what is relative to a superstar and success and all those things, because drowning out that other noise is very tough. But I will share with you, if you continue doing what you're doing, brother, by all means, there will come a point where all this shit will age out, and in life, things do come back full circle. And by coming back full circle, you want to be ahead of that game and saying that you're that
savior,
pinnacle,
you know,
that front man,
man that's standing out when people wanting to get back to this shit, because we can see it. You know, people go from the digital. Reading a newspaper doesn't feel the same when you're holding the newspaper. Yeah. People like tangibility. Live music, people like tangibility. And we're gonna, I think we're gonna see a resurgence of it soon. And I'm really excited to make sure that you know, you're at that forefront of it. So
Thank you,
shout
man.
out to you, man. And my last call being is that things do come back full circle. Yo, man, it's been an absolute blessing having this conversation with you on so many. You know, I love the tangents personally, but I will make sure that I do justice by you by eliminating all wild shit. But this was an absolute phenomenal conversation, and you know, I appreciate you, Dre.
Yes,
Appreciate you, Frias. Appreciate you, Ramz. Thank you very much, Karina. Thank you very much for even making.
you,
Karina.
Karina.
She over here, making again not only the behind the scenes, but making the contacts and just showing all the love. So appreciate you.
Yeah.
And you sat in the living room with no
Shout
caliente.
out to her.
So thank you very
Yeah.
much. Love y'all. This is Ron Kane. Have a wonderful day. It's just words. Nobody cares, but we care so much.
The kid Frias.
Yes, sir.
Oh.